Hi all, right, welcome back. Reaction Kharkov, German Soul, part 25. Just put part 24 together, I'll haven't sort of looked it over. Hopefully do that when I head off to bed tonight. Puts me to sleep. As I'm sure it puts a lot of the rest of you to sleep. Where are we? Right, yeah, we're still halfway through a Soviet impulse. Well, I say halfway through. We still had an auxiliary card, so they've had a full activation of pop-off, and now they're going to have a units activation. But I wasn't too terrified by their full activation, so yeah, bring it on. So it is going to activate up to 2 unit stacks in mobile group pop-off, not in a VPX, and all mobile group pop-off reserves. Yeah, well, it does have 2 reserve units now. They're only one step. One's a one-step infantry, one's a one-step mechanised infantry unit. Yeah, so how do we break it down? We're only getting 2 stacks, aren't we? Amongst the eligible. Yeah, so not in a VPX. Well, none of them are in VPXs, are they? No, they're not. This is a VPX up there, but these 2 guys are not in it. And we've got this stack here, which is probably going to be one of the stacks, I would guess. So amongst the eligible, prefer A, supplied. They're all supplied. Not surrounded. None of them are surrounded. And then highest total strength. Well, this is 8. So that's definitely going to be one of the activations. So yeah, this is where we're going to benefit from John Brown's idea. And that's going to be the 6-6 guy, isn't it? Because everybody else is on their own. Yeah, and then we've got 2 units in the... Well, it does activate them as well, mind. Also activate all units of the army in the Soviet reserve units box. If no units can be activated, do not perform. Right, so highest total strength. It would be most units. Well, that was 8 strength, and yeah, that's going to be the other stat. We can only get 2 stacks, so it's that guy and them, and the 2 reserves we've got. So that's that. Yeah, the southwest front objective marker is still sitting comfortable. It's not. I mean, nothing at all happened in that last impulse really for them, and not so sure. I mean, okay. They could bring the 2 reserves in round about this guy or maybe this guy, I suppose. So I think that's probably what's going to come down to it, but we do need to go through the process. Yeah, okay, we've checked the objective marker, right? Take VP hex and descend in order. Well, we still can't do that. There's no VP hexes to take yet. So move method 2, adjacent to German VP hex and near objective. Well, that's still these guys. I know I'm jumping to them. Well, let's do it properly. Unit 1 cannot move adjacent to a German VP hex. No, I was just glancing up there. We still can't get through to Kramatorsk. We can't hit that hex, which would be adjacent to that, and there's no gaps through to do that. So he would have to be able to move down to, and right away we already said at the end of the last part that I was kind of a wee bit worried that I'd maybe left that guy up there, and I shouldn't have, because we were kind of missing the rule a little bit there. However, like I finished with, he's protecting Izium. So yeah, if he moves anything past Izium, he's breaking restrictions. So yeah, so he's not going to come down. So these guys here, we've got 13 to start with. Well, they are 13 is a Soviet unit starting adjacent to a German VPX when 4 hex is a objective marker and unable to move to a more preferred VP hex. Because, well, we have decided that prefer VP hex needs to be following the preferences of movement method 2, which is targeted exclusively by the active front, occupied by the least German strength, not across the Dnieper River hex side, with the highest VP value. So all them do not break down the fact, and why it doesn't change it. I mean, say for instance, I suppose this guy had got attacked and got reduced last turn, then I think that's when they would make a move towards that. Which kind of makes some sense. They've got a weaker target, so they're going to say, well, let's go and try and finish that off. But they're both 5 strength, they're both 1 victory point. None of them's exclusively targeted for Southwest Front, even though this one's got a little bit of an edge, but there's nothing to say in the rules that does that. So they're going to be, and that's all 3 of them, are going to, the only thing they can do is adjust with 9.25, and they're only adjacent to this guy, so they can only move back into this hex from where they came, and they can't get into here. So it's just do the 9.25 back into that hex, and do you really need to look at that, Fran? Because yeah, I know you'll go and look at it, but. Yeah, because nothing's changed, and they moved to that hex because it was better. So, oh well, hang on, yeah, yeah, there might be one of them will move because the hex is going to be empty, isn't it? Yeah, that's a bit of a wee bit of a loop. There was a couple of them went on in Match or Den where you got a wee bit of a loop going. Well, let's double check then. We can't surround, we're in support. A hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit, adjacent to the same German unit. Yeah, none of the hexes are going to work with that, but an empty or garrison hex, yeah. So the first unit, Unit 13, it was going in ascending order, wasn't it? Movement method 2, yeah. So he can 9.25 by going 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 back into there again. Yeah, I mean it's okay. They're still around that unit. They're still around the VP hex, and you can see that. If we were able to get in here, then we could have flank, or we're not attacking from just one hex now. If an attack was possible here and they just stayed in that hex, then it's a 1 hex attack, and there's bad things can happen with that. Yeah, so Unit 13 will move into there, but then as we move on to Unit 16, he's then not going to have a choice, is he? Because it was like, well, he's going to go to tiebreakers and then going to stay where he is, I think. Right, I've lost my page. 9.5? What are we doing now? I must have went forward instead of back again. Yeah. So he wants the 9.25 as well, but a hex not occupied by or adjacent. Yeah, they both do that. We don't have an empty or garrison hex, and we don't have a hex not occupied by an active unit to choose from. So quick look at tiebreakers as closest to the unit's objective marker, and that means he stays where he is. So he then moves, and you know what? Unit 20 underneath does the same, because, yeah. So they're now set that they can't move via any other movement method. Although they haven't moved, so they could also be considered to bounce back to reserves. Okay, right, well, moving on. We still need to check Unit 1, I suppose, for the rest of the movement methods. So 3 is the open supply line, but we're not there yet, are we? Yeah, 3's open supply line from turn 3. And then 4 to 9 are not for spearhead units, so that's not for us. So we move right to 10, Can he follow movement arrows? And he's moved on a bit. No, he cannot. Can he move closest to front objective? Yeah. Could he move in here? No, he can't, because there's a German unit there. There's not a gap, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but we know he can't do it, Grant. He cannot move past, is he? I've said it before. If he moves in there, he's breaking a restriction. Yeah, so not going to happen. Yeah, and then moves on to movement method 12, strength and potential attack. Unit starting adjacent to German unit does not move by this method. He would 9.25, so again, he's only adjacent to the one German unit. Yeah, Martin replied, a bit confused about my question regarding, I was curious about finding situations where you could move a Soviet unit with a movement method adjacent to two German units and not be able to have a preference to the hex you're landing in. And I suppose when I was typing back my reply to him, because he wasn't sure what I was asking, so maybe another stupid question. Okay. I'm good with them. I get the odd decent one from time to time, so yeah, and while I was replying, I suppose I thought about the fact of let's just say I'm trying to put this out here before Martin starts bombarding me with situations when it could happen, because that's what I feel like I'm up for now. Although he's not going to see that, he's probably going to reply before he gets to see this, so oh well. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, let's just say that guy's moving, I don't know, with movement arrows. That's the one I thought about, like movement method 10. So, and I'm not going to, I've picked a poor bit there, hang on. Let's go here. That looks like arrows all the way down there, doesn't it? No, wait, what it says there then. So he's to move with movement arrow. No, he needs to follow his full movement, Grant, doesn't he? 1, 2. Oh, Grant, does it really? Right, I'm not going to try and put this. I'm just going to show you what I'm thinking. He's to move his movement arrows. He's got to use them all up, and he then prefers ending an unoccupied hex, ends furthest in hex from it, moves starting hex, ends closest to objective. Let's just pretend that his objective is here, right? This hex here. And then follows primary movement arrows. Let's just say he's not done that, or he's done that, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, there's a perfect case where he goes like that. He moves down there, he ends there. He's followed all his preferences. Now, he's not preferred to be adjacent to this guy. He's not sort of saying, this is not saying you need to be here, you need to be looking at me, I'm the target. And he's not saying you need to be looking at me, I'm the target. What he's saying is wanting to get closest to his objective marker. He's happened to land in between the two German units. So, yeah, it's as simple as that, Grant. Yeah, I maybe should have thought about that before I put my foot in it, really. But, well, no, I guess, you know what, we're going to see it coming up in my playthrough, aren't we? We're going to see it happening. And then, I'm sorry, just to finish that off, so in that case, you wouldn't just 9.25 round this unit, you would 9.25 round both of them. So you might end up in one of these hexes, and you might end up in one of these hexes. So, yeah. So, yeah, I suppose it felt like, I don't know, we've not really experienced it yet. Sorry. We've not experienced it yet, or if we have, then I can't recall it. On saying that, it was only just recently that John's actually put that out there that, you know, if there's no preferences, use all the units that you're adjacent to and 9.25 round them all, basically. So yeah, which I think I was doing automatically at first, so it might have been that I have ended up in that position. So it's maybe not true that I'm saying I've not came across it yet, because we were looking at it differently, I suppose. Anyway, okay. Yeah, I will ask my silly questions, but you just need to put up with them, and remember, I'm just a daft Scotsman. Okay, what are we doing? Was I still moving Unit 1? No, or we had... Yeah, I think we were... Yeah, you should finish things off before you go and jump off on one, Grant. Move... Yeah, he's already adjacent. Was it this? I can't remember. He's already adjacent, so he doesn't move, and we're 9.25, that's right. And I figure that he's not going to... we can't surround... adjacent, not adjacent, but it's not just not adjacent, right? An empty hex, he's already in an empty hex, a hex not occupied by an active unit. So yeah, again, you titrate between these two, I suppose, and then you get closest to unit's objective marker, which is that one. So he stays there as well, and I suppose I can turn him like that. It's not really, yeah. Right, wait. Well, that's all movement, so it's just well, I suppose actually we've still got the check up here again, but it's going to be worse now because we've not got a... Right, where are you going, Grant? It's here. Yeah, it's going to be worse, isn't it? Because the card's only a 2. Card's only a 2, and the odds are just the same. It's 6 against 6, 1 to 1. Yeah, you should really just stop, Grant, and I guess I'm frightened I missed something there. So it's the card's a 2. It's not 2 to 1. It's okay. It's in support. That's a 3. Only Soviet units of armor. No attacking, surrounded. No flanking. VP hex. No. You know, we're at a 3 now, and there's no combat tactic, and the cards are still going to be 4, so they're not less than 4 as well. So yeah. Oh wait, though, Grant. Wait. Yes. I forgot about my reserves, didn't I? So check situational strength of opposing units by totaling combat strength of lead unit and all active units adjacent to target and all German units in target hex. With these adjustments, include strength of all active reserve units that can be placed in hexes. Then you look at having an assault coordination in the auxiliary card. We exclude strength of Soviet units are dispersed. Half the strength of units attacking across Dnieper, or mech units fighting out of the marsh or into marsh. And then add to or subtract the other ones. Right, so we do have 4. In fact, what I'll do is, and what I have been doing, and I can always just put them back if they don't get used. There they are. So we've got 4 strength, and yeah, I mean, they can easily just plop in there. They need to trace reserve supply, place active reserve unit. Yeah, here we go. Place oh, that's from 4 onwards. Where do we get the place reserves? That's maybe in the combat bit, is it? Maybe in the actual combat section. Adding reserves. Yeah. So this is what we would need to actually place them. So it'd be just the same as doing the check. Adjacent to a hex under attack. Right, I'm just considering this hex. As long as we find a hex that's adjacent, it's fine. And so we have reserve supply, yeah, no problem. Non-reserve unit and active front. Non-reserve unit and active front is in or proximate to hex. Oh, okay, yeah, non-reserve unit from act. Yeah, it just means a unit from the active front is either in that hex or can move into that hex. But I mean, we can actually stack them both in that hex because they're only one-step units, so they could stack with him. Placement will not violate stacking limits, just what I'm kind of saying there. Within the operational limit, and if objective removed in support, not a German town or city. Okay, so they can go. So in actual fact, we've got 10 against 4, plus 1 for the IP is 5, plus 1 for the adjacent supplied unit is 6, so it's 10 against 6. So yeah, nothing's changing there, is it? No, we're not getting 2 to 1 odds, so we could cycle right through that again and still end up with the same result, I think. I don't think anyone brings... The reserves don't bring anything new with them, they're not going to... well, wait now. No. I was just going to say, could one of them go in there and one of them go in there and then we get flanked, but no, because if he's in there, he's not going to be able to trace reserve supply, because he can't trace into there or there, remember. So, no. Yeah, I think that's the only one that could have maybe added to the factor, but it was a low number anyway, wasn't it? However, this might do something about this, possibly, the 2 reserves. So we have, yeah, it did move, yeah. So unit 13, and just as well he's there, because these are 1 steps, aren't they? Yeah. So, and we need a 1-step units can't be the lead unit. So this is a lead unit checking here. Hang on. It could check there, couldn't he? Well, yeah, maybe. So maybe this guy going back there wasn't so straight. Well, I didn't think it was straight. Well, it looked funny. He'd already moved from there to there, and now he's moving back. But there you go. It might show. Right, well, we need to know the most strength. These 2 pop-off units could deploy into there. So that could be 7 against 2, right? That's a different story. 7 against 2, IP gives them +1. 7 against 3, he's adjacent to supplied. Unit 7 against 4. Right, can we keep that number? Use a couple of dice here. So 7 against 4. Or you could check here, which would be 5, 8. And again, they can certainly stack in there. So that's 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 against 12 against 6. So it's 12 against 5, plus 1 for the adjacency. 12 against 6, that's 2 to 1. So which beats 74, which was just short of 2 to 1. Okay. Right, so the 2 to 1 check still might not make it though. Can they get flank? Well, hang on though, this is around the town. If flanking will apply, well, it's not going to, is it? He wouldn't get flank anyway. You can't deploy a unit in there, a reserve. So he's not going to be able to get flank anyway. Right, okay, quick check on the total tactical value. Yeah. Right, the card is a 2, like I say, so that's not helping their cause. The card is a 2, but however, they do have 2 to 1, so that's an R +2, so that's a big boost. That's up to 4. No artillery barrage. Where are we looking at here? Chugev, yeah. No artillery barrage. TAC is in support, so that's a 5. If only Soviet units have armour. No, we've got armour as well. If any attacking units are surrounded, they are not. Flanking will apply, a defender will be surrounded. No. It's not. Well, it is a VP hex, but it's not greater than or equal to 2, so. And then there's no combat tactics in the auxiliary. There's no auxiliary card. We're still sitting at 5, and there's still 4 cards, so we can't even get to 6. So even with that, not going to happen. Yeah, I was just thinking, because this is infantry, but they weren't getting 2-1 odds, but if they were, would it have happened? 2, 4, 5, 6. I think it would have sat a 6, wouldn't it? Because we've no combat tactic either. Anyway, that's not relevant. So so I think we're putting these guys back, because that's the only chance that they get to come out at the moment until we get to turn 4. Yeah, so, well, yeah, there's a possible bounce back as well, maybe. Well, he is possible, actually, because although he's not stacked, oh no, he moved. Sorry, my bad. Right, he moved, so he's going like that, right? Unit 1 didn't move. He's not stacked with anything though, and he's only adjacent to 1 unit, so although you're going to have to remember that if he's in a VPX, Grant, or if the village... Oh, wait a minute. Well, he moved anyway, isn't he? Because I was going to say he's adjacent to... Yeah, might need to keep an eye on that then. But he did move, so that's not... Yeah, see, these are in Vornesh front villages. So that is a condition. That is a situation for them to bounce back. It says in or adjacent to a village, targeted only by non-active front. So that is a situation that would bounce them back. Does that mean they both might go back then? This is quite possible. So their supplied units, they did not move or attack. Right, I just thought, well, they did attack. No, they didn't. We just done an attack check and it didn't happen. So, they didn't move or attack. They're adjacent to a German unit. Removal would not cause nearly surround. No. No, there's not a gap. Well, I'm talking about one of these guys going away. I suppose I'm looking at them both going away though. But for the first one, it's not going to apply. It looks like the second one as well. If an operational limit removal would not cause surrounded unit to become unsurrounded. No, they are not. They're not surrounding anything, so that's alright. Unit was not placed to reserve this activation and not in Kharkov. And like I say, they are... Well, let's just put the first one to in non-VP hex in operational limit, stacked with a unit or adjacent to 2 Soviet-occupied hexes. Well, he's stacked to a unit, he's also adjacent as well. So I suppose the other guy's going to get that as well. So he is going to bounce back. And he's going to do the same, but he is in the village thing, yeah. So, well, the other guy was too. What does it say in the rules for that? Is there a 9.6 on this? Does it elaborate any? In or adjacent to a village targeted exclusively for the non-active front. Well, that's all it says. So, attack. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So, but he's also adjacent. I mean, he's not starting on our unit, but he's adjacent to 2 other Soviet hexes. So, but he was in that village thing. So there we go. Right, lots of reserves now. And no restrictions. Let's say the restrictions were causing nearly surround or removing surround from a German unit. But yeah, we can't go in and out. You know, it doesn't work. So, okay. Yeah, but there's only four Popov units on the map now. The rest are in the reserves. Well, that does mean that they're all going to gather round. You know, they're all going to get together. So, I mean, next time this guy looks here, he's going to be able to bring another Well, he was wanting to bring 4 there, and he's now going to bring another 9. So that's going to be 15 against whatever. Which probably will be 2-1, won't it? Right, we've done the reserves. There's no, what is it? Disperse units, so that's that. Right, I'm just going to keep going actually, because I'm probably passing. I'm gonna. Right, hang on. Well, they have 4 cards left, but I mean, all the stuff they've done there is not. Well, I mean, I have just said that now another activation of pop-off might threaten this, possibly. I mean, I think it would need to have an auxiliary card combat tactic. And the thing is, though, it's going to have less than 4 cards in the deck, so there's that too. And if he gets a 2-1, that's a +4, and depending on what the card does, yeah, we could possibly see an attack. But, and of course, this is the card we've got in our hand, but well, maybe Grant, maybe we could strengthen the hex. I mean, we're going to have to play this card at some point. You know, with that in mind, is it a terribly silly idea to maybe put this in here? We're still not creating a gap. And this guy was in here before and he's moved back a little. That's probably not the worst idea, isn't it? That's going to be me though, well, you know what? Moving that guy into there and putting an IP on that guy? That's not the worst play in the world. Are we likely to see a pop-off card again? Well, you never know. I could start looking through the discard pile. Well, we've just seen 2 pop-off cards there, haven't we? With the Stavka card went early, and the South, I'm pretty sure we've had both front cards, haven't we? Yeah, we had the front cards quite close together, I think. The Stavka card got used for a combat tactic, or 2 combat tactics it probably was, but well, if you're not worried about it coming, should you just hold on to the card in case something else happens? Because this does have pull out on it, you know. So yeah, I probably should take a chance and pass at least once. Because they do have 4 cards. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pass. Okay. So that comes back and we can activate who we want next impulse that we have. It's got a bit of a ragged edge. I never got around to trying to do the clipping bit. I must admit, sometimes I still look at the back ends of them and wonder if I could clip it and make it look a bit neater. That's just so I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that didn't bother about all that nonsense. I don't know why I do. Well, yeah, you probably do know why I do. I'm a bit like that, But it's not that I've been playing war games for years and years and years, you know. I'm right heavy into it. But yeah, it's not that. I suppose it's like you can see all my units need to be tidy and correct. Yeah. Okay. Right, so we passed, so, well, let's just push on and get another, yeah, we should be able to get our Soviet impulse and then probably to finish the night though, I think, unless it happens to go really quick. Right, okay, German impulse? Soviet impulse. Right, 4 cards left in our deck, so let's see what we get. 6 army, it's a primary. And first guard is a primary, and first guard has got a 3. So they're both primary. Again, we just go by the highest command value, and then I think it's the lowest. Well, doesn't matter. It's the highest command value. Okay, that's command delete. Oh no, it's not going to do that then. Yeah, it was usually had a turn number on it, and that one doesn't. So it's just it needs 4 cards, doesn't it, to be able to shuffle back in, doesn't it? Yeah, 4 more cards in a draw pile, so that's not going to happen. So that's going to stay there. What's Yeah, so reinforced battle. It's not going to shuffle in though as well because we only got 2 cards left in our draw pile. However, reinforced battle. Well, it's first guards that are activating. Yeah, I don't think that's well. Mind you, they've got a couple of reserves as well, haven't they? Right. Anyway, this is not shuffling back in because we don't have 4 cards, so it's staying there, and we're going to activate all units in the first guards. So let's get that done. Okay, so activate all units in the army. We have. Is there only 2? Did one bounce back to the reserves? No, they're both. Yeah, one was from turn 2, one was from turn 1. No, yeah, I think we only had 2 to start with. Yeah, okay. Anyway, there's two there, and I'm going to bring these guys across because you never know. One's a 4, and one's a 2 strength. All just infantry, but now they go with our army objective marker. Obviously, it's not moved, but it would just move when a unit reaches there. It would move. So, and then we follow. Oh yeah, that was one that Martin. That was quite funny again. Well, I recall recently about to possibly ask a question. What was that about again? Oh yeah, it was when we reinforced battle, and we had 2 units, and we wondered how to split them up and how to decide. Fortunately, my one was quite simple, but Eric, is it Eric Cabral, I think. Eric, anyway, who's been following and made a few comments or whatever, he had posted the question. It was just after that night when I had the same situation, and I was wondering about it, and I thought, oh, there you go. And I think I said that to Eric. So I got up this morning and remember when the last time we activated we had the Vornes front card, and it activated a lot of 3rd tank units and some 69th Army units, but it also grabbed the 40th Army unit because it was stacked with them. And I was a bit muddled because I thought, how do you move these units? Because they're moving with 2 different movement methods, 9.21 and 9.26 for the army. And so I got up. It was just it was just this morning, I think, wasn't it? And I looked and I thought, and Eric's posted this question. He'd played the Stavka card and something similar had happened, and he wasn't sure how you deal with the units. So we got a response from Martin, although he didn't maybe quite grasp what we were asking at first, or what Eric was asking, and I tried to chime in and sort of say, well, yeah, I think what we're trying to know was how to go about it. And Martin came back with a pretty logical solution, but then if you didn't play enemy action Ardennes, surely most folk that are here have played Ardennes. Well, no, that's not true actually, because this is more, I suppose it's newer game, and I'm sure Ardennes has been hard to get hold of and maybe more expensive to try and get hold of. Anyway, Martin said that that rung a bell with me. When you were activating, well, then it was, what was it? You had army objectives and core objectives, was that? Yeah, the army objectives and core objectives for the Germans. And it was the same as this. This would have been a core rather than an army objective. It would have been a core objective. And what they've done with that in the rules, admittedly, is you move the units with the core objective first if they happen to all activate together. If you had I don't know, what was the card, Army Group South or whatever the cards were, then you would activate the core units first and then go back to the full sort of, so because there were 2 different methods. But it's not mentioned in the rules here, so probably something that needs to be added, and it was a decent enough question from Eric, I thought, and yeah, so I'm sure John will pick up on that one and either point us to where it's written in the rules or make a wee adjustment somewhere. Right, anyway. So, yeah, army objective. Right, that's where we're going. It's not moved. We're following 9.26 on page 21. So, in descending order, remember we do have reserves, but again, they're only going to trigger if we conduct an attack. So, I'll probably zoom in a little bit in this area actually, because we only need that top bit. Well, we'll see. Yeah, so in descending order, this unit 10. Right. Well, hang on. Take VP hex. No, we can't do any of that. So that's identical to method 1, and then method 2 is adjacent to German unit, which is identical to method 8. So move to an unoccupied hex is adjacent to German unit and not adjacent to Soviet unit, adjacent to that same German unit. Well, they're probably sitting in that place right now and just going to adjust by 9.25, I think. Yep, they are, aren't they? So the end of part 8 says, a unit starting in a hex satisfying this movement method does not move by this or any subsequent method, except as directed by 9.25. So just to, again, looking at unit 10, he's in an unoccupied hex that is adjacent to a German unit and not adjacent to a Soviet unit adjacent to that same German unit. That's correct, isn't it? Yeah. So he is not going to move by any method, but he is going to check for 9.25 right now. And then the same thing's going to happen to... Well, we need to check. I suppose if Unit 10 was to adjust into there, that would maybe change a situation, wouldn't it? So, well, let's look. Operational like that. Not causing surround. Right, so we're only looking at this unit. And yeah, I'm going to have to keep my eyes open now for all this. Martin's just said he was going to flood me with a whole lot of situations, like I'd said, but he says, but we'll just wait on your playthrough. But yeah, I can see. Okay, right. I do get myself into a lot of trouble, don't I? So yeah, he's got 2 hexes. He could adjust into here, couldn't he? Can't surround, Soviet support, not adjacent to yeah, neither hex would do that. Enter garrison, they're both not occupied by an active unit, yeah. Then tiebreakers, closest to the unit's objective marker, they're both going to be as close. Oh, that's going to come down. Did it move before? No, it didn't. Why didn't it? These activated before though, didn't they? Am I missing something? You can adjust into the other hex. It's just, he's going to want to prefer here because it's western. Closest to the unit's objective marker, an empty hex, are both empty. The hex furthest in the compass direction indicated on the objective marker, which is west, and this is west, so that's more west. Is it possible we've not... Well, we must have activated them before because the objective marker's there. I don't know, that's kind of got me wondering. Oh well, you know what? I'll wonder about it and I'll maybe look it up later rather than faff about just now. So, yeah, he's not going to move by any other method. Well, he's actually going to adjust with us. So 1, 2 break in zone of control and 3 into there. And no, he's not broke restrictions around. So that is going to change. No, it's not. Because because he's still adjacent to a German unit. And what is it again? Not adjacent to a Soviet unit, adjacent to the same German unit. So yeah, so he's going to walk in. Well, he's going to move down as well. Have I been missing something here? That's kind of bugging me now. Right, I was just about to go and look the situation up there, and I think I've found out what's wrong. And I think it's because, again, if you look, rules as written in the rule book, 9.25D says a hex not adjacent to a Soviet unit. So if this guy was here, and I think this is what's happened, and again, this is another situation from this unit moving, where I wish somebody had give me a nudge then, you know, I mean, yeah, well, I don't know. It says it in the rule book, Grant, that's the thing. But I played through the Soviet solo as well, and it's the same error in the book. So that kind of frustrates me. And I think what's happened is I went to go and adjust this before by 9.25, and he's in a hex not adjacent to a Soviet unit. However, if he adjusts into this hex, he's then adjacent to a Soviet unit. And it's not really relevant because the Soviet unit's not adjacent to the same German unit, which is what the intention was of the rule. However, again, I mean, I get away with it because it says in the rules. But and then I thought, well, why did that guy maybe not move west? Well, this guy was in here for quite some time, and the same thing would have happened, that he's moving adjacent to a Soviet unit, even if it's not adjacent to this German unit. That's how I was interpreting it earlier. So yeah, that's it. Well, you know what? That must have been a while back as well. There's nothing I can go and do about that. Would it have made any difference? I don't know. It might have done, but I'll tell you what, now these guys are going to adjust and come slightly west, and he's going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Just double check, I suppose. Yeah, because he was happy, he was satisfying the situation, and he was moving in a hex. Yeah, into a garrison, not occupied, not adjacent. Yeah, it was going to tie break again. Hold on. No, that's not right then. Just as well look back at that. Because if we're tie breaking, and let me put that guy just back there just now. Right, he should be like that. I didn't do that with him again. Sorry, John. Well, I think it worked better than that last activation. When you've got a units activation, that's when it shines, that method, I think. Because you're looking at maybe, especially when it's pop-off and third tank, there's a lot of units. So if you're only activating 2 stats, so you want to know which ones are which. Yeah, I think he's going to stay there. So he's not going to move in the movement method. He's going to check 9.25. Hex we call hex not adjacent. Yeah. And he can only reach these 2 hexes adjacent to that unit. Yeah, okay. Enter gas. Yeah, he doesn't find anyone at 9.25, so we tie break, but the first tie break is closest to the unit's objective marker. Well, this is only 2 hexes away. If he goes down there, it's 3 hexes away. So he actually does walk in with that method into there. Yeah. Does that mean he walks in? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Because well, it does, because he's not moved. if he had adjusted to here, I would have turned him the same as that, saying that he's moved. But he's not moved, so he could potentially bounce back to reserves. Whereas, yeah, if he'd moved, yeah, okay. Right, well that's it, that's the 2 units. Yeah, because he did move, and he's not going to move. So let's check for attack checks then. Right, so ascending order, we've got unit 2 here. Looking at this, this is going to be something, I think, to worry about. You know, when I said that, maybe just as well I kept that card actually, because it is 3rd Corps. Yeah, it's maybe just as well. Right. So we've got 2 against 3, but he gets a plus. 2 against 3? 4 against 3. I was looking at his selector number. 4 against 3, but he gets a +1 for the IP. That's his only +1. He's not adjacent. So we've got 1-1 odds there, but we've got to check our reserves. So include the strength of all active reserves that could be placed in hexes in reserve supply and adjacent to the target. Well, 1, 2, yeah, they're both 2-step units. They can all go in that hex if need be. I mean, I'm pretty sure something could go in this hex as well. So we've got 4, 8, 10 against 3 +1, 4. 10 against 4. Ooh, reinforced bow. It's reinforced bow. I'm not so sure that's good. Oh, you know what? It might. Can that guy go in there? He can. I thought he was maybe breaking the restriction, but oh dear. Right, okay. Yeah, I think. Oh, right. We might have a bit of bother here. So 4, 8, 10 against 3, 10 against 4. Right, let's hope this doesn't add up, I think. 10 against 4 is 2 to 1. Oh, the card values are 3 as well. Yuck. Right, let's check. 10 against 4. So it is 2 to 1. 10 against 4, 2 to 1, yeah. Right, and the command value of the cards are 3. Right? And I've got 2 to 1 odds, so that's a +2. That's 5. I've not got armour though. Well, neither are we, but they've not got armour. Ah, no, they're going to get this, yeah. Because they're in support, and then there's only how many cards in the deck? 2. And I think the auxiliary cards combat tactic is applicable as well. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Flanking's not going to apply. Combat tactics is an auxiliary card. Right, I'm not 100% sure. What did I say? 6 there. Hang on. 3, 4, 5 because it's 2 to 1. 6 because we've got support, obviously. And then I'm just going to move to 7 rather than check the combat tactic situation. There's less than 4 cards in the draw pile, so this is a goal. Right, but I get the feeling that this guy is going to reinforce as well. Can he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he can. And I don't think he's exposing Izium. Well, I already said, look, we still can't squeeze through there if he's in there. So. Right. So the combat's going ahead. So Soviet attack. Add active reserve units, but not when attack is overwhelming. Right. Well, we need to sort some things out here first. So, what? Well, it's just this guy. Yeah. It's just this guy. So he's attacking. So I'm going to turn him around that way. That's my attacking way. And then, I mean, the odds are only 4 to 3 at the moment. They're 1 to 1. So, 1 chip pool. So there's not overwhelming at all. So we're going to add active reserves. In ascending order. We have number 3, and then so adjacent to Hex, in Soviet reserve supply, non-reserve unit in active front is in or proximate to the Hex. Yeah, that's fine. And we're talking about either of these 2 hexes, so one's going to be in and one's going to be proximate. Yeah. Placement with not violate stacking lamps. Yeah. Prefer in Soviet support if attack unsupported. Causing surround of target, not going to happen. Not across the Dnieper River. Causing target to be flanked, that's also not possible. Unoccupied hex, well there you go. And then highest hex number. So he's going to go into the unoccupied hex adjacent and there. Now we should then revisit, and it's a good idea to do this because like Michael pointed out that time, I did all the reserves, wasn't thinking in between. It's nowhere near at this time, but let's just we'll just look at numbers. We've got 8 to 3 now, so we've got 2 to 1. It's not, and we've got an extra. We've got 2 chip pools. It's nowhere near overwhelming, so we're going to bring this guy in as well. Now he's going to preference causing target with highest hex number. So they go down the way. So he's going to go into this one. I'll just put him underneath. And 19's. Oh. He's a 3-step unit. Can he get in there though? Probably. Let's hope not. No, he can't he? So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into there. That moves them. No, it doesn't matter. I was going to say it moves them further, but it doesn't matter. There's only 2 hexes here, which isn't a gap. So, okay, right. Well, let's check some numbers now then, because that's us got our units and our reserves. No, let's keep Mr. 66 in the picture because he's going to come in now. 4, 8, 10 against 3. Was it? Yeah, 10. 10 against 3, so 3 to 1 odds. 3 to 1 odds. And only 3 chip pools there as well. So that doesn't sound so bad just now. However, and we've got to draw a card as well, remember. Right, so draw a Soviet card and apply its combat tactics. And then check the auxiliary card and apply its combat tactics if all are different and beneficial to attack. And again, skip if it's overwhelming. Or unsupported, it says there, but... Right. Okay, let's draw a card now. There's only 2 in their deck, so... hope it's something that helps us out. Well, it's 3rd Tank Army Units card. And it's Tank Brigade. Oh, that brings in armour for them. Mind you, I think they were going to get armour with that, but just also looking at the card, wondering about what that might have done. Yeah, I suppose it's quite nice to have lost that card, but it's going to bring some hurt, I think. Things sorted out here, but so Tank Brigade, let's just double check. Increase Soviet combat strength by 2 when attacking. So let's sort that one out first. We've got 10, we've now got 12 against 3, so the odds are jumped up again to 4 to 1. I think this is when they either get to reduce a hit or increase a hit. And it adds armour, which at the moment they don't actually have, so that's another plus. Reduce total hits incurred by the Soviets in the combat by 1 when attacking or defending. So that's not good either. At least it wasn't an increase of hits. I think that would have been worse right now. I don't really care about hurting them. I just want to survive. Okay, so but the reinforced battle in the auxiliary card box is telling us. Now hang on, did I increase? I didn't increase. I increased the strength, but I'm not increased for the combat tactic ever. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there should be 4 chip draws now. Right, and then we check the So, yeah, I've moved my page. I'm happy with this on the play rate though. Then we check the auxiliary card and apply its combat tactics if all are different and beneficial to attack. Well, I'm pretty sure reinforced battle. I'm just looking now. Soviet reinforced battle. Select an active or inactive on map Soviet unit stat that could reach combat in a single movement. Remember, it can't go in this hex because it overstacks. So it can go 1, 2, 3. That's a broken hex and it's breaking zone of control. 3, 4, and then 5 into there. So it can certainly go there. Let me just sort of like pop that guy there and then look. I mean, it's not breaking the restriction, like I've said. It wasn't surrounding and it's not exposing. Okay. Yeah, right, I don't need the cube, we know he can do it, so it's eligible if it's in the same front as a defending or attacking unit. It's in the same front as the attacking unit, yeah. I did not move or attack in the current activation. It's not adjacent to an active German unit. Movement restrictions 9.23 apply. So Soviet attack. The unit stat moves adjacent to the hex under attack if not already there may split up. Obey stacking limits and the tactical adjustments of 9.25. If more than one stack can reach the combat, prefer a stack that will cause surround. Is there another? I don't think there is. Now you've got that pop off infantry unit there, but 1, 2, 3, he can't reach. So yeah, there's only one. More than one stack can reach. No, there's only one. Right, so he's going in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going in there. I'm going to put him underneath because we're looking at first guards. And that's adding another 6 strength and 2 chip pools. Well, no, not just 2 chip pools, 3 chip pools, Grant. Because we're playing this card. So it's added 6 more strength. So now we have 6, 10, 14, 16 plus the 2, 18 to 3, 6 to 1 odds. It's getting ridiculous. And then the unit added 2 more chip pools, and the combat tactic added another 1, so another 3 chip pools, 6 to 1 odds, and a large attack. Oh my. Well, I'm so glad I've got my pool out. Well, I think, oh no. I need to decide if I'm using it now, don't I? I don't want to pull out, do I? Yeah, maybe do. Right, well I think we're at that step now, Grant. So you've got 6 to 1 odds, 7 chip pools. Play German cards as combat tactics at your option. Skip if all targets unsupplied or dispersed. So let's just check. Pull out on defence. Defender only. Prior to combat resolution, retreat the defending stack 2 hexes in accordance with the retreat rules, but do not place dispersed. The retreat must end in a hex in German supply. The attack is considered resolved and attackers may advance after combat. Discard all Soviet cards containing combat tactics applied to this combat. Can't be applied if any defending units are dispersed or isolated. It's quite mean. We're getting 2 of his cards wasted. But we don't have a defender adjacent. We're only infantry. We've got an IP. That's the IP's a plus. We're in a clear hex. So the only thing I've said there is it's got an IP. Everything else is bad. They don't have flank. Right. I wouldn't say that's good, but it's not bad. Well, I suppose we've got to look at where we're going to retreat to. Well, I suppose we're going to go into Kramatorsk. He's gonna advance though, so I need to know what's gonna happen here, I think. Right, the pop-off unit can't advance. Retreat, retreat. Right, let me just think this one through. I guess I really need to know where he's going to advance to. Well, I mean, he's what is this? That's a secondary arrow. That's a nothing. Unit 2 would be first. So secondary arrow, that's going to be an automatic, isn't it? Yeah. So he's going to advance. They're all infantry though. They're only going to move 1 hex, Grant. They're only going to. Oh, you know what I'm thinking though. I'm thinking, yeah, next impulse I'll adjust my 3rd Corps units. No, you won't, Grant, because you're going to be using this card. He's only going to have 1 card left, and I mean, they get to go first though. I get the feeling this is a no-brainer though, innit? The other thing is, do I go to Kramatorsk? Is it silly to think that we go here or here and hold the line, rather than, not let them break through? I mean, we've got a big stack of 40 core units there that are adjacent to Kramatorsk that, this guy's not gonna. That's not gonna do anything to them. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that as well. In fact, maybe more to be said for that, because I think I initially did think if I moved back into Kramatorsk, that I could then, with my last impulse of the turn, my thinking was maybe adjust this guy and get him into here or something like that. But forgetting that I'm going to have to use the card to play this tactic, I'm not know. Yeah, it does feel like a no-brainer to be doing this, doesn't it? Because 6-1 odds, 7 chip pools, they've got armour. When they're reducing their hit to themselves, that doesn't really come into it, admittedly. That's not a concern. But we have no... Like I say, we've got no... The only thing we've got is an IP. So it is D5 to eliminate, isn't it? It's D5 to eliminate. They can only advance 1 hex. However, it's more than likely they're going to retreat as 2 hexes and we're going to be dispersed. But there's only 1 car left in the Soviet draw pile. So, when you start thinking about it that way, it does make you... And then I would be able to, okay. Well, worst case scenario, the guy gets wiped out, right? Whoops. So he's wiped out. Okay, that is bad. I don't want that. But let's just say he gets wiped out. They can only advance once. Remember, the pop-up unit can't advance, so they can only advance into that hex. So we've got Soviet units in that hex. But so will be that guy's guaranteed to advance. So, and then you activate your 3rd Corps units and do what, Grant? Move this guy. Well, let me show you a bit more of what's left of the 3rd. Well, what's of the 3rd Corps. This guy, no. This guy's kind of doing a job here as well. Okay, we need to go a bit more of that, Grant. Yeah, this guy's needing to stay here as well. But of course, if I get to activate 3rd Corps, that he'll build an IP and he's holding across the river. And well, this guy can't move actually. Well, he can. He can go that way. maybe I should get them in there, threatening Izium. So, well, it's down to these 2 units, Grant. So, can you go 1, 2, 3, 4 into there, assuming there's going to be Soviet units in there, remember? Just don't want to forget where I am. And that kind of locks things up, doesn't it? Yeah, because I'm getting to go next, remember? So it's not that I need to worry about what this last card is, because then they could maybe take Kramatorsk. So I suppose you could look at it either way, couldn't you? And I'm starting to think about just going for the attack now, because it's the end of the night and the pull out seems a bit boring, doesn't it? And yeah, I mean, if they... Well, it might just be this guy. Were they going to advance as well? Well, it's going to be the combat hex. So if that guy's advanced already, the attacked hex, it'd be a roll of 1 to 3, I think. Because it's not going to be... Oh, hang on, is it close to their objective? Yeah, it is. No, hang on. No, I've got that wrong. It's only if it was across a river and close to the objective. Yeah, so they would be advancing the second sort of set of things, which is closer to objective or attack hex, if you want to look at it that way. And there'd be a unit already advanced in there, so they would only advance on a 1 to 3. But they would both check. Well, first one would check, and if they can only have 2 in the hex, so. Or I could go to sleep on it. Could go to my bed and get up in the morning. That sounds boring as well, Grant. Right, I was just at first there thinking that it seemed to make more sense doing the pull out. However, I need to be moving 2 hexes away from the combat hex where the attack happened, which is fair enough for getting to Kramatorsk. But if I don't go to Kramatorsk, I've got to go into here or here, haven't I? Then they would be advancing into there. It's still not a gap to Kramatorsk though. Yeah, I think I said at first. I think I was thinking I could retreat here. That's not the case. So I'd probably retreat to here, unless I felt the need to go to Kramatorsk. But I don't think so. Like I say, they're going to advance into there, but there's no gap. Oh, wait a minute though. Wait a minute. You've got to remember that urban infiltration, Grant. So, although the units are in there, they're not proximate to there. I mean, it's an extra move, admittedly, but they could move in adjacent to Kramatorsk, and then on a subsequent, well, a future impulse, be adjacent to it, and then just step into it. Because even with the army objective, they still follow movement method 1 from 9.21, so... But that means a lot of things going by before we, you'd like to think we'd be able to get a unit from here, just back it into there. So that would leave these guys intact, this guy intact. And however, he would lose his IP. But, here's the thing. No, it's not a thing, Gra. I keep wanting to say I'm going to retreat and I'm going to activate them. Yeah. Okay. That is late at night, so... So yeah, so if I do that, the advance, we're guaranteed to keep the unit. And everything looks okay. If I do it the other way, take my chances, I might still be in the same situation, to be honest, or worse. And what am I going to benefit? The benefit is going to be I'm going to be able to move this unit. In actual fact, I could move these two. This might be worthwhile just in two, and build an IP on this unit. Yeah, I think I'm going to wimp out, guys. At 6-1 odds with a large attack with 7 chip pools, and they've got arm. I mean, there's no artillery, there's no air power, so you could draw chits like that maybe didn't do anything. His activation card is a 3, but I mean, I've not got any. Yeah, I think it's safer to do it, and I realised that so I'm going to retreat 2 hexes. I realised I've got to move 2 hexes away. So admittedly I could go into Kramatorsk, but then that's leaving a gap. And then I said about being able to go 1-2 or 1-2, but if I go here, I'm also leaving a gap there. So, and I think if I go here, there's 2 hexes in between that, so there's no gap there, and there's 2 hexes in between that, so there's no gap here. I do need to remember that this is slightly vulnerable, because that's where their army objective is as well, so I need to get on that pretty swiftly, the beginning of the turn, really. And hopefully get a 40 core activation and just pop something in there, because, but like I say, they are only going to advance into here, and then yes, on a future impulse they could move into one of these 2 hexes, but they can't get right in there, and then they would have to go another impulse to get into there. So I think I can take my chances with that one. I'm pretty sure this guy was in a lot of bother. So he's going to lose his IP. He's going to retreat. He's going to pull out. He's going to wimp out at the end of the night. Boo. I think it's probably the right thing to do, though. I mean, look. I mean, I get to laugh at these 2 cards. Look, away they go. And one of these was the auxiliary card as well. The reinforced battle. These are getting discarded, ignored. These dice are coming off. We're not going to look at their numbers anymore. And the only thing that's going to happen is, well, this guy's going to auto advance. Because it's pop-off unit can't. He's got to stay there. I mean, I know he's up there too and quite scary, but he's kind of out of place a little bit, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, man. I mean, his objectives are way down here. So, yeah, this guy's going to advance in here. And then we need to check for 3 and 11. And this is the attacked hex. It's also closer to the objective. So like I say, in a 1-3, unit 3 will advance. Oh, that's a 1 I didn't really want going. That was a 1, so he's advanced. Well, that's it, because there's 2 units already advanced. Yeah, they preferred the little 2 strength guy going, to be honest. Restrictions in advance, and I don't think so. There's not an awful lot today either, is there? Just don't cause the proximity again, but we were leaving the guy there and the guy there, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, so well, we done what we done. Yeah, I'd love to be able to pull 7 chits out the cup right now and have a look. Yeah, I would say about maybe doing that, but we'll just leave it to what might have been. Right, so, and then, well, I suppose he's still got a check to make which is not going to even entertain. There's no reserves, all the reserves are out. Oops. And then I had to bounce back to the reserves because these all attacked and this moved. So that's their impulse over. Yeah, interesting finish to the turn. Well, we've still got to worry about what their last. That's us out of cards now as well. Mind, they've got one more card to come, and that'll be their command card, and they can still draw a tactic member just by shuffling the deck up, but they won't have an auxiliary card, so there is that. So that's quite good. Right. Well, I suppose we got through the auxiliary card there too, but it still turned into 1 hour and 20 minutes. Which I didn't think it was going to get anywhere near, but you should know by now, Grant. Right, so we'll come back tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll be finishing turn 2. That's quite exciting, isn't it? Yeah, we'll turn 3. Oh, it's 40 core reserves we get as well, so that's a bit of a bonus. But yeah, I don't like what's happened there, but what are they getting over that side? To be honest, they're only getting Popov and 6 army. I mean, well, Popov. 1 Popov leaves a 6/6 as well. Oh, good. 6 army units they'll be further back, so they won't concern us too much. But and yeah, we get 3. It looks like they're all infantry for 40 core, so we might be able to. Well, yeah. Even if I need to be 3 away, don't I? So I don't think I can deploy them in there. However, if I draw a 40 core card, I'm probably going to be more concerned with getting a unit in there rather than deploying the reserve. It depends how the turn goes though. If it starts, remember, I don't need to worry until they reach one of these 2 hexes. And then, then I do need to worry, but... Right, I'll get this put together and hopefully get it uploaded tomorrow sometime, and that'll be me for tonight. 1 more card to go in the Soviet draw pile. We've not got any cards, so it's just up to them. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with the next part. I can't remember what number we're on. Cheers guys.